Yo, what is going on, you guys? Welcome back to another video. So what we're gonna do in today's video is give you guys the most up-to-date information regarding when you guys should expect to see the next $1,200 stimulus check. Now, the reason why we're talking about the $1,200 stimulus check is because this seems to be the most likely to pass out of all the different things that we've heard. In my honest opinion, I don't think we're gonna see $2,000 and retroactive payments for the next few months. I don't believe that we're gonna see a $450 boost for workers at the moment right now in its current form, and I don't believe that we're going to see the debit cards filled with additional stimulus and all the things that we've heard about in the past. I think the biggest thing right now in the works that has the highest probability of actually going through is going to be the HEROES Act, which actually has that $1,200 second stimulus check. So where are we now? So it's been about 10 days since the House went ahead and passed the HEROES Act. This is definitely good progression, but one of the most important things that we need to all consider is that this still needs to go through the chain of command. So in order for us to have a better idea of when we should see a second stimulus check, let's go through the expected dates of when this will actually pass. Now, in order for me to compile my opinion and to give you guys the most up-to-date and accurate prediction, what I'm going to do is formulate an idea of how long it should take for them to negotiate things based on what we've seen in the past, and also take into consideration the CARES Act and really the process of how that really went. So looking back on past data, here's what we know. The CARES Act actually passed on March 27th. On April 17th, 80 million Americans actually had their checks direct deposited. So that's about 20 days from the passing date of that bill in order for people to see their money. So once we take that into consideration, we can fill in the gaps of the different factors that we have with regards to negotiating and actually getting this bill passed. So to make things a lot easier to understand, a lot of this is actually going to take place on June 1st. So I feel like knowing the calendar system, it's going to be a lot easier to count the weeks ahead once we're on the start of a fresh new day of the month. Now, going back about 10 days ago, HEROES Act passed. Okay, since then, what has actually happened? Not too much. Memorial Day weekend happened. A lot of our government leaders went on vacation, and the Senate is looking to actually resume where they left off on the start of June 1st. So fast forward, June 1st, here we are. What do we predict? So if the Senate is able to take the bill, look at the bill, and then they're able to debate and then add specific changes, we're looking at a time frame of between 7 to 14 days, especially with the length of how big the HEROES bill actually is. Don't forget, 1,800 pages. That is not just a little, that's huge. Say the Senate is able to debate, say they're able to add the specific changes that they need to, and then they all are able to come to a common agreement on letting the bill pass in its new readjusted form. I would estimate, in my opinion, it's going to take about 2 weeks for that to happen. So June 14th, if we expect that day to be the day where Senate actually says, all right, let's get this bill going through, it then needs to be reviewed again by the House of Representatives. Once they're able to all look through this as Congress in whole, then they should be able to determine whether or not they can actually finalize this and send things through. Now, judging by how lightning quick our Congress leaders and government officials have been working through this entire pandemic, we can assume that it probably won't take a week. I'm going to always urge on the latter side of things, which may take a little bit longer, which is probably going to be 2 weeks. So right there, that's about a full month in order for them to actually do renegotiations. And that's a long time right there. Judging by where we are right now in the political state with election years, people getting their vote ballots coming in, right now it would be crazy if President Trump, who is the last remaining guy that needs to stamp on this bill, for him to say, okay guys, this isn't passing. Yep, we're not going to be able to do this. Sorry, I'm going to be the bad guy. That's very, very unlikely, seeing that it's actually an election year. Once President Trump is able to sign off on this bill, then what we should see is similar things that we've seen within the CARES Act, and then that's the history of us people actually getting the direct deposits into their bank account. Like I mentioned, within the original CARES Act, we should see about a 3-week waiting period before people actually start seeing their payments. So in my opinion, I feel like check payments and direct deposits are going to be a lot more smoother than it was before. People are pretty familiar now with the IRS website, and because we've done it once in the past, most recently, I feel like it's just going to be a lot easier in order for both the government to send out the checks and for people to give them the right information on receiving it. In my opinion, I believe we could start seeing checks as early as 2 weeks once the bill actually gets signed. So if we put that into an estimate of the timeline, end of June, then we work into July, and then 2 weeks into July is going to be around the time where if a second stimulus check does get passed, that's when we should actually see it. Now, that is my stimulus payout update. Regarding the prediction that I have, this seems to line up with a lot of what the politicians have in mind as well. July seems to be the big month, but here's where an issue comes up. Right now, we are going into the month of June, and if we take into consideration how much stimulus we've actually gotten in the entirety of this whole coronavirus pandemic, we realize, yo, it's only been $1,200 for the past 3 to 4 months that we're going through this pandemic. So in my opinion, people receiving checks all the way in July may actually be too late, just because there are so many people going through things right now financially that they may not be able to last until during that time. Let me know down below in the comments what you guys think. How can they speed this process up? Should they add the feature of retroactivity within that bill? So that means if that bill does pass, should they add a provision to this new HEROES Act when it goes through Senate where they can say, okay, look, our people did not get money in the months of May and even in the months of June either. And I know they're getting things in July, but that may be too late. Should they add a feature to the bill where maybe they can actually get $1,200 for the past few months where people have not received anything at all? Guys, I'll be reading all the comments down below. I know how much people are struggling during these times, and I just want you guys to all keep your head up. I do believe at the time of this recording, there is still a high probability of something like this actually passing. So don't lose the faith, people. Right here, I think we do have something better than nothing, and it's going to get worked through our government leaders. We just have to wait a little bit of time, and I know waiting is probably one of the worst things we can do right now, especially as we see states starting to open up, people still unable to go back to work, and people still struggling to keep food on the table. So guys, that right there was my video just on my prediction on when the next stimulus check would come out. I hope you guys were able to find some type of value. I hope you guys have a good idea of when you believe the stimulus check will also come out. Please let me know down below if you guys agree with me, disagree with me. Like always, don't forget to check out the links down below. And if you guys are interested in signing up for a free stock with Webull, if you guys deposit $100, you can get a chance of winning 2 free stocks, and one of them valued up to $1,400 down below. So guys, that is my video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Like always, I hope I see you guys in the next time. Don't forget to drop a like, and don't forget to add me on Instagram over at Credit Brian. I'm trying to get to 10,000 followers on Instagram. That'd be dope. Follow me over there, and I hope you guys have a good one. Stay safe, stay healthy, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.